All right, to solve inequalities, we solve them the exact same way we would solve equations. So when let's do one for an example. I have 3x plus 1 is less than 10. I'm going to treat that less than sign as my equal sign. I'm going to draw a line right there, just like how we did when we had our equal sign. And then I solve this the exact same way I would solve an equation. I want to get this x by itself, so I have to get rid of this 3 and I have to get rid of this plus 1. So since this plus 1 doesn't have an x, I'm going to get rid of that first. Now we do that by minus 1 to get rid of it and leave me with 3x. And whatever I do to one side, I still have to do to the other side. 10 minus 1 would be 9. So now I'm left with 3x. I want to get x by itself. I would divide by 3 because that's the opposite of 3 times x. Those cancel out and leave me with x. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So my answer would be x is less than 3. That's my final answer. So the difference is, with inequalities, we want to graph it. So I'm going to draw a number line here. So here's my number line. I'm going to make sure 3 is on there, because that was my answer. And then I'm going to put some numbers down here. And then I want to graph this. X is less than 3, so less than means it's going to be an open circle. So I'm going to put an open circle right over above 3. And then it says x is less than, so the numbers that are less than that go to the left. So I'm drawing an arrow to the left. And that's my final answer and the graph that matches it. All right, let's do another example. Here I have 4 minus w divided by 7 is greater than 5. So if I was going to solve this, I'm going to treat it just like how I would do an equation, but I'm going to treat that greater than sign as my equal sign, draw a line. I know I'd have to get rid of this 4 first. I look to the front, I see this is a positive 4, so to get rid of it, I would have to do a minus 4 to cancel those out. Same thing to the other side. 5 minus 4 is 1. And on my left side, I'm left with negative w over 7. So I want to get w by itself. The opposite of divided by 7, negative 7, would be times by negative 7. So I'm going to times by negative 7 to cancel those out and leave me with w. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. All right, this is the one rule where it's different than equations. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your inequality sign. So what do I mean by that? Well, this is a greater than sign. So if I want to flip that, I'm going to flip it so it faces the other way and make it a less than sign. So my final answer is w is less than negative 7. So I also have to graph this since it's an inequality, and inequalities have more than one answer. So I'm going to graph this. I'm going to make sure negative 7's on there because that was my answer. And then put another number or two. Negative 6, and we can put negative 8. So this is w is less than, there's no equal to, so that means it's just an open circle over my answer. And then less than means it goes to the left. So that would be my final answer and graph. So remember, thing to remember, inequalities have more than one answer, right? So w is less than negative 7. It literally means it can be any number less than 7. It can be negative 8, negative 10, negative 1 million. Any number that's less than negative 7 would work for this. Okay? So inequalities have infinite solutions.